In this video, you will learn how a fixed mindset destroys your potential. We dive into the power of change and how many people avoid it out of fear. What if embracing change is the key to unlocking your true potential? Stay tuned to find out how a fixed mindset holds you back and how shifting your perspective can lead to incredible. A fixed mindset is one of the greatest barriers to success. It operates silently, shaping the way people see themselves, their abilities, and the world around them. People trapped in this mindset believe that intelligence, talent, and capabilities are fixed traits. They are either born with them or not. This belief limits their willingness to try new things, take on challenges, or step outside their comfort zones. Instead of seeing obstacles as opportunities for growth, they view them as threats that expose their weaknesses. This kind of thinking creates a self-imposed prison, one where potential remains locked away and progress becomes impossible. Imagine a person who has always struggled with public speaking. They tell themselves, "I'm just not good at speaking in front of people." Because of this belief, they avoid situations that require them to speak, turning down opportunities to present ideas, share their thoughts, or even lead. Over time, this avoidance reinforces their belief. They never practice, never improve, and eventually their assumption becomes a reality. They truly remain bad at public speaking, not because they are incapable, but because they never allowed themselves the chance to grow. This is the trap of a fixed mindset. People with this mindset do not only struggle with skills or talents, they struggle with self-perception. They often tie their worth to their current abilities, believing that failing at something means they are a failure. Because of this, they avoid anything that challenges them, preferring instead to stay in their comfort zones where they feel safe and competent. But in reality, this safety is an illusion. The world is constantly evolving, and those who refuse to grow eventually find themselves left behind. A student who believes they are bad at math may stop putting in effort, assuming that no amount of practice will make a difference. An employee who thinks they are not leadership material may never take on responsibilities that could help them grow into a leader. An aspiring entrepreneur who fears failure may never take the first step toward building their dream. These examples are everywhere, people holding themselves back not because they lack potential, but because they believe they do. The danger of a fixed mindset is that it turns limitations into permanent barriers. When people believe they cannot change, they stop trying. When they stop trying, they stop learning. And when they stop learning, they stop growing. This cycle continues until their lives become stagnant, filled with regrets over missed opportunities and unexplored possibilities. Contrast this with someone who has a growth mindset. Instead of saying, "I'm just not good at this," they say, "I'm not good at this yet." Instead of avoiding challenges, they embrace them as a chance to improve. They understand that abilities are developed through effort, practice, and persistence. They do not see failure as proof of inadequacy, but as a stepping stone toward mastery. Every setback becomes a lesson, every difficulty a chance to get stronger. The difference between these two mindsets is not intelligence, talent, or background. It is simply a way of thinking. A fixed mindset sees limits. A growth mindset sees possibilities. A fixed mindset avoids challenges. A growth mindset embraces them. A fixed mindset remains stuck. A growth mindset moves forward. The truth is, no one is born with unlimited skills or abilities. Every successful person has faced struggles, failures, and moments of doubt. The only reason they continued moving forward was because they refused to be defined by their current abilities. They chose to believe in growth, to work through difficulties, and to persist even when things seemed impossible. The question is, what kind of mindset do you have? Are you allowing limiting beliefs to hold you back? Or are you willing to challenge yourself, embrace discomfort, and unlock your true potential? The answer to that question will determine the path your life takes. Fear of failure is one of the most powerful forces that hold people back. It stops them from pursuing their dreams, from stepping outside their comfort zones, and from taking risks that could lead to growth. But what many people don't realize is that the fear of failure is not actually about failure itself. It is about how they perceive failure. A person with a fixed mindset sees failure as proof of their inadequacy. They believe that if they fail at something, it means they are not good enough, not smart enough, or not capable enough. Because of this, they avoid situations where failure is even a possibility. This way of thinking is deeply ingrained from a young age. Many people are taught that success means getting things right the first time. In school, students who struggle with a subject may begin to believe they are just bad at it, rather than seeing it as something they can improve on with practice. Over time, this mindset becomes a habit. When faced with a challenge, instead of thinking, "How can I get better at this?" they think, "What if I fail?" This fear becomes so strong that they begin avoiding challenges altogether. And when challenges are avoided, growth stops. Avoiding failure means avoiding opportunities to learn. Think about the first time someone tries to ride a bicycle. They wobble, they fall, they scrape their knees. But with each fall, they learn. They adjust their balance, they improve their coordination, and eventually they master it. Now imagine if someone fell once and immediately said, "I guess I'm just not meant to ride a bike." They would never develop the skill, not because they couldn't, but because they gave up before they allowed themselves to improve. This is exactly how a fixed mindset operates. It convinces people that mistakes and struggles are signs of weakness, when in reality, they are necessary steps toward growth. Every great success story is built on failure. The world's most successful people, leaders, athletes, entrepreneurs, inventors, have all faced failure multiple times. But instead of allowing failure to define them, they used it as a tool for growth. Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, failed thousands of times before he finally succeeded. When asked about his failures, he didn't see them as defeat. Instead, he said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This is the mindset that leads to greatness, the understanding that failure is not the end, but a step towards success. People with a fixed mindset, however, struggle to see failure in this way. To them, failure is personal. It's not just about getting something wrong, it's about being wrong. This fear creates a cycle. Because they are afraid of failing, they do not take risks. Because they do not take risks, they do not grow. And because they do not grow, they never reach their full potential. Over time, their confidence erodes, and they settle for a life that is far less than what they are capable of. The truth is, failure is an unavoidable part of life. No one escapes it. The only difference is how people respond to it. Those with a growth mindset understand that failure is temporary. They see it as a learning experience rather than a final judgment of their abilities. Instead of fearing failure, they ask themselves, "What can I learn from this?" This single question changes everything. It turns failure into a teacher rather than an enemy. It shifts focus from what went wrong to how it can be improved. It transforms obstacles into opportunities. If fear of failure is holding someone back, they must ask themselves, what opportunities am I missing because I am afraid to fail? What dreams have been abandoned? What potential has been left untapped simply because the possibility of failure felt too scary? The truth is, Failure is not the real enemy. The real enemy is staying the same, never growing and never reaching the level of success that is possible. The only way to overcome this is to embrace failure, to learn from it, and to keep moving forward. Because in the end, success is not about never failing, it's about never giving up. The comfort zone is a place where everything feels safe, predictable, and familiar. It is where routines are set, risks are minimized, and challenges are avoided. It is a space where there is little fear of failure because nothing new is attempted. For many people, the comfort zone provides a sense of security, a feeling that as long as they stay within its boundaries, they will be protected from pain, embarrassment, and disappointment. But while the comfort zone may feel safe, it is also one of the most dangerous places to stay. It is where potential remains trapped, where dreams slowly fade, and where success becomes impossible. The problem with the comfort zone is that it does not allow for growth. Growth only happens when a person is stretched, challenged, and pushed beyond what they already know. The most successful people in the world did not get to where they are by staying comfortable. They got there by stepping into the unknown, by embracing discomfort, and by constantly pushing themselves beyond their limits. The truth is, the success zone and the comfort zone do not overlap. If someone wants to grow, they must be willing to leave behind what is comfortable and step into the space where challenges exist. Think about a muscle. If a person never challenges their muscles through exercise, they become weak and incapable of handling any real physical effort. But when muscles are pushed, when they are placed under stress, they grow stronger. The same principle applies to personal growth. When a person refuses to challenge themselves, their potential weakens. They may feel comfortable, but they will never become stronger, smarter, or more capable. On the other hand, when they push past their fears, take risks, and embrace challenges, they grow in ways they never thought possible. The comfort zone is deceptive because it offers a false sense of security. While it may seem like a place of safety, it is actually a place of stagnation. People who stay in their comfort zones often find themselves feeling stuck, unfulfilled, and frustrated with their lack of progress. They wonder why they are not achieving their goals, why their dreams feel out of reach, or why they feel trapped in the same routines year after year. The answer is simple. They have chosen comfort over growth. They have prioritized safety over success. Many people fear stepping outside their comfort zones because of uncertainty. They worry about failure, rejection, or embarrassment. But the truth is, everything they have ever wanted lies beyond the limits of what they already know. Every skill they want to develop, every dream they want to achieve, and every level of success they desire requires them to step into discomfort. No one reaches their full potential by doing what is easy. Growth happens in the moments of struggle, in the times when fear is faced, and in the decisions to keep going even when the path is unclear. The difference between those who succeed and those who do not is simple. Successful people understand that discomfort is part of the process. They do not run from challenges, they run toward them. They do not avoid failure, they embrace it as a learning experience. They do not settle for what is comfortable, they constantly push themselves beyond their limits. This mindset is what separates those who achieve greatness from those who stay stuck in mediocrity. Imagine two people standing at the edge of a diving board. One chooses to jump, despite the fear, despite the uncertainty. The other chooses to step back, deciding that the unknown is too frightening. The one who jumps experiences the thrill of taking action, the rush of overcoming fear, and the confidence that comes from facing a challenge head-on. The one who steps back remains in the same place, wondering what could have been. Life is a series of choices between comfort and growth, Those who choose comfort will always remain where they are. Those who choose growth will go beyond their limitations and unlock their true potential. The question is simple. Will you choose to stay where it's safe, or will you take the leap into the unknown and become the person you were meant to be? The way people handle criticism reveals a lot about their mindset. Those with a fixed mindset see criticism as a personal attack, something that exposes their flaws and diminishes their worth. They become defensive, dismissive, or even angry when faced with feedback because they equate criticism with failure. Instead of using it as an opportunity to grow, they reject it in an effort to protect their self-position. In essence, they self-sabotage. This reaction keeps them stuck in the same patterns, never improving, never evolving, and never reaching their full potential. Criticism is an unavoidable part of life. No matter how talented, skilled, or knowledgeable someone is, there will always be moments when they fall short or make mistakes. But what separates successful people from those who stay stuck is how they respond to that criticism. A person with a growth mindset understands that feedback, whether positive or negative, is one of the most powerful tools for improvement. They do not fear it, they embrace it. They listen carefully, extract the lessons hidden within the words, and use them to become better. Imagine an athlete training for a championship. If their coach points out flaws in their technique, they have two choices. They can either become defensive and ignore the advice, or they can listen, make adjustments, and improve their performance. The first option leads to stagnation, while the second leads to mastery. The same principle applies to every area of life, whether in business, relationships, or personal development. The ability to receive and apply feedback is one of the greatest predictors of success. Many people reject criticism because of their fear of being wrong. They tie their identity to their current abilities, believing that if they admit a weakness, it means they are not good enough. But this kind of thinking is dangerous. It leads to a fragile ego that cannot handle even the slightest suggestion for improvement. People who think this way remain stuck in their ways, unwilling to see their own blind spots or correct their mistakes. Over time, this mindset creates a cycle of mediocrity. They stop growing, stop improving, and ultimately stop succeeding. On the other hand, those with a growth mindset see criticism as a mirror. They understand that no one is perfect and that every person has areas that need improvement. They actively seek feedback because they know it will help them refine their skills, strengthen their weaknesses, and accelerate their growth. They do not take criticism personally because they do not define themselves by their current level of ability. They define themselves by their capacity to learn and improve. Consider the most successful people in history, leaders, innovators, and game changers. They did not rise to the top by ignoring feedback. They surrounded themselves with mentors, coaches, and critics who challenged them to do better. They constantly refined their craft, learning from their mistakes and adjusting their approach. They understood that every piece of constructive criticism was a stepping stone toward excellence. But there is a key distinction between criticism and negativity. Not all feedback is valuable, and not all opinions should be taken seriously. A person with a growth mindset knows how to differentiate between helpful advice and baseless negativity. They do not allow themselves to be discouraged by people who simply want to tear them down. Instead, they focus on learning from those who genuinely want to see them improve. They ask themselves, is there truth in this feedback? Can I use it to grow? If the answer is yes, they apply it. If the answer is no, they move forward without letting it affect their confidence. The greatest mistake a person can make is ignoring the wisdom that comes from feedback. The most successful individuals in the world have learned to turn criticism into fuel, using it to sharpen their skills and refine their approach. Those who resist criticism remain in the same place, trapped by their own unwillingness to change. The choice is simple. embrace feedback and grow, or reject it and remain stuck. The future belongs to those who are willing to listen, learn, and improve. The company a person keeps has a profound impact on their mindset, beliefs, and overall success in life. Every conversation, every interaction, and every influence from the people around them plays a role in shaping their thoughts and behaviors. Those with a fixed mindset often surround themselves with people who reinforce their fears, doubts, and limitations. They choose comfort over challenge, and as a result, they remain stuck in the same patterns, never growing beyond the environment they have created for themselves. People naturally adapt to the energy and expectations of those around them. If someone spends time with individuals who constantly complain, make excuses, and fear change, they will start to adopt the same habits. If they are surrounded by people who avoid challenges, reject feedback, and refuse to push beyond their comfort zones, they will begin to see that as normal behavior. Without realizing it, they will absorb the same negative patterns and make decisions based on those limiting beliefs. This is why so many people never break free from their circumstances, because the people around them are holding them back, reinforcing their limitations rather than encouraging their growth. When a person surrounds themselves with those who have a growth mindset, people who push themselves, embrace challenges, and strive for greatness, they are naturally influenced to do the same. Being in an environment of high achievers forces them to think bigger, take more risks, and demand more from themselves. Growth-minded individuals challenge those around them to improve, offering constructive feedback, new perspectives, and valuable lessons that lead to success. They do not allow mediocrity to thrive. They push each other to become better. Think about successful athletes, business leaders, or innovators. They do not surround themselves with people who accept average results. They actively seek out mentors, coaches, and peers who elevate their thinking and challenge them to reach new levels of performance. They understand that the right environment makes all the difference. Being around people who expect excellence forces them to rise to that standard. It changes how they think, how they work, and ultimately how they succeed. One of the biggest mistakes a person with a fixed mindset makes is choosing relationships based on comfort rather than growth. They stay in friendships that feel familiar, even if those relationships are filled with negativity and limiting beliefs. They hold on to connections that do not serve their future, afraid to let go of people who discourage their progress. But the truth is, not everyone is meant to stay in one's journey forever. Some relationships must be left behind in order to make space for new ones that inspire and uplift. The fear of outgrowing people often keeps individuals trapped in environments that limit them. They worry about being judged, misunderstood, or left out if they choose a path of growth. But real success requires the courage to make difficult choices. It requires evaluating whether the people in one's life are contributing to progress or holding them back. The reality is, the wrong company will drain energy, plant seeds of doubt, and reinforce a mindset of fear and mediocrity. The right company will inspire action, challenge comfort zones, and push toward greater success. Growth requires making intentional choices about the people who influence daily thinking. It requires seeking out those who have already achieved the level of success one aspires to reach, learning from them and allowing their mindset to reshape perspectives. It means engaging in conversations that inspire, setting higher standards, and being held accountable by those who refuse to accept excuses. A person's success is directly linked to the people they allow into their lives. Those with a fixed mindset stay surrounded by those who make them feel safe, even if it means staying stuck. Those with a growth mindset seek out those who challenge them, push them, and help them unlock their true potential. The choice is simple. stay comfortable with those who limit growth, or rise higher with those who inspire greatness. The people in one's circle will either build them up or keep them down. So choose wisely. The ultimate result of a fixed mindset is the inability to embrace change. People with a fixed mindset view change as something to be feared, something that might expose their weaknesses or cause failure. They tend to hold onto what they know, avoid new challenges, and stay within familiar environments because they believe that change may force them to confront the limitations they fear. This resistance to change becomes a powerful barrier that keeps them stuck in place, unable to reach their full potential. This fear of change is rooted in the belief that abilities and intelligence are fixed and unchangeable. If a person believes they are naturally good at something, they will avoid challenges that could prove otherwise. If they believe they are not good at something, they will avoid trying altogether. But life is full of change, and no one can predict exactly where they will be in a few years. The ability to adapt, evolve, and change is one of the most powerful tools for success. In fact, the people who succeed the most are those who embrace change, who look at it as an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to transform into better versions of themselves. Consider the world of technology. It is constantly evolving, with new advancements and innovations happening every day. Companies that resist change, that continue to use outdated methods, are quickly left behind. On the other hand, companies that embrace change, that adapt to new technologies and approaches, continue to grow and succeed. This same principle applies to individuals. Those who resist change, whether in their careers, relationships, or personal development, find themselves stuck. They become obsolete, unable to keep up with the demands of the world around them. People who embrace change, on the other hand, continue to evolve and adapt, always moving forward and staying relevant. A fixed mindset traps people in the past. They look back at their past successes or failures and let them define their future. They avoid new experiences because they fear failing again, or they refuse to change because they feel secure in their current situation. They see change as a threat to their comfort and stability, even if it means missing out on opportunities for growth. But what they fail to realize is that the world does not stand still. Time moves forward, and so must they. Take, for example, a person who is stuck in a job they dislike but is afraid to change careers. They may fear the uncertainty, the challenges, or the potential failure that might come with starting something new. But by staying in that job, they are not only sacrificing their own happiness, they are limiting their potential. The longer they resist change, the more they close themselves off to the opportunities that could lead to personal growth and fulfillment. The truth is, change is inevitable. It will happen whether a person is ready for it or not. The difference lies in how a person responds to it. A person with a fixed mindset will resist it, try to control it, or refuse to adapt. But someone with a growth mindset understands that change is an opportunity to improve, to learn, and to become more capable. They understand that change, though uncomfortable, is a necessary part of progress. Without change, there is no growth. Without growth, there is no real success. People who embrace change do not wait for the perfect moment to act. They understand that waiting for everything to be just right is another form of procrastination. They take risks, make mistakes, and learn along the way. They see challenges as a chance to grow, not as a sign to retreat. They understand that setbacks and failures are simply part of the process, and they are willing to face them head on. For example, a person who wants to start a new business may initially feel overwhelmed by the risks and the uncertainty. They may worry about the potential for failure or the financial strain it could cause. But someone with a growth mindset understands that these challenges are an essential part of building something great. They embrace the uncertainty because they know that without it, there is no room for creativity, innovation, or personal development. They choose to grow through the challenges rather than letting them hold them back. The ability to embrace change is what separates those who succeed from those who stay stagnant. Those who resist change are left behind, while those who embrace it are constantly evolving, learning, and growing. Life is full of opportunities, but they are only accessible to those who are willing to change, to adapt, and to evolve with the times. By resisting change, a person is not just rejecting the unknown. They are rejecting their own potential. Success is built on the ability to adapt, to change with the world around you, and to grow through every challenge that comes your way. Change is not something to fear, it is something to embrace, because it holds the key to unlocking the limitless potential within. The key to unlocking your true potential lies in your ability to embrace change. While it may seem uncomfortable or uncertain at first, change is the catalyst for growth, progress, and success. Those with a fixed mindset may shy away from it, but by shifting your perspective and welcoming change, you open the door to endless possibilities. Remember, it's not about avoiding challenges. It's about facing them head-on, adapting, and becoming stronger in the process. So, step outside your comfort zone, embrace the journey of change, and watch as you unlock the limitless potential within you.